teach a course called Foundations of Healthcare. And the lesson that I'm going to present, we used it, the infection control portion of that curriculum. So what has Strive afforded me? Strive has afforded me the opportunity to actually connect the real life experiences in industry with my classroom. So it's hand in hand, because I teach at a career and tech school. And so the employability skills are embedded in our curriculum. So we try to allow kids to be ready for employment when they leave our school. Okay, so my placement was at Central Arkansas Water, which is the water facility in Central Arkansas, the largest one. It gives water to 450,000 people, and our major sources of water is from Lake Lamont and Lake Winona. If you're not sure where Lake Winona is, it's actually in Saline County, near the Perrin area. I was matched up with Miss Jane Hurley. She is a wonderful person, and we did so much this summer. She is the education outreach specialist for CAW. So we did professional development workshops. We went to the treatment facilities to learn how everything works. She even sent me links to videos so I could be up on what goes on at Central Arkansas Water. Let's see, we actually spoke at the Girls in STEM program that was actually held at Pulaski Tech, North Little Rock. We actually ran the Power of Water, that's for middle school teachers as well as high school teachers. There was 2 separate sessions. We actually did a workshop on macroinvertebrates. I learned a lot from that. We did some water sampling by boat, the Grandma Mill Sailing Club. And one of the great takeaways, CAW has a dog named Vessel that they use as to detect a water leak. So I learned a lot. She's involved with everything, so I hit the ground running on the first day. So we did a lot, and I'm grateful for those experiences. Now, as I talk to the people around CAW, you have some people that are in non-traditional jobs. Like there's a woman that works at warehouse. There's a person that's a female that does distribution and things like that. So we talked, and I talked to various people, and we talked about the what students need, the skills they need, and communication, critical thinking. They need customer service skills, because everyone we meet is our customer. You have to have a positive attitude, be a problem solver, and willing to learn. Okay, so as far as my implementation, I did the 5 E's, and they were, it was very, very interesting. The 5 E's, of course, engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. I use that approach because my question was, I wanted to help determine health impacts of water contaminants. And so
1 minute warning.
So we used a lot, we looked at the Flint water crisis. We read that article. We had brainstorming activity where we talked about the uses of water, and we take water for granted, but everybody doesn't have clean water. So they had to research like some of the contaminants that could be found in various water, and they had to design their own water filtration system. And of course, I had to preface everything that just because we disinfected the water doesn't mean it's consumable for humans. We took the turbidity of the water when it's done. they came up with some very nice filtration systems. And of course, we did the turbidity of the water, see how cloudy it was and everything. And I'm not sure my students were even involved in the lab before I actually did this experiments, because they didn't know a lot. But this experience, they were like so impressed with the beginning product and the end product. And the source of my water was koi water mixed with algae water and added dirt in it. So I wanted to give, and it had a really bad smell to it. And they were so amazed that the smell had left after the filtration processes. So each time they would have to observe the appearance of the water and take the turbidity of it to see how cloudy it is and how wonderful it appeared in the end. And as an extension, we're going to have a gastroenterologist come and speak to us about the because a lot of the contaminants of water affect the GI system. And so we're going to have that, as well as take the filtered water and actually look at it underneath the microscope, see if there are any more microbes that we can see in that water.
Fantastic. Thanks, Carla. And what is the graph at the bottom? Just in a couple of seconds. Can you explain?
Was a pre-test and post-test. I was impressed with them because students learn by doing. I mean, we can talk about aeration, floccation, sedimentation, and filtration and disinfection, but I was there with them when they were actually adding the alum and things to the water, and see how stuff change and the sedimentation and all that stuff. And so that's why they went from 57% to 83% on the test.
And this looks like a relatively small class. Is that something that you can scale up and do in other classes as well?
Sure. Yeah,
can I ask you a question, Carla?
Sure.
I know that's actually, I've just got a question, because I know as actually a chemistry teacher, and I do have a biology degree too. I've actually went with school before, had them host my science classes, chemistry classes to a lab, and they showed how they treated the iron in water, which is great chemistry. And I mean, this is a great microbiology class. When I was in college in microbiology, we went and visited a water treatment facility. Yes. So I just think that's significant. It's so real life, hands-on experience you can do in a classroom, water samples.
Yes, so, I also, excuse me, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, please.
In the video, I placed, in the slides, I placed a video of the whole process at the Wilson Treatment Center. It's about 12-minute video, so it's very informative. We have Ron and Jane that's on there that's talking about the process of water treatment.
I've done that too, where I visited with them as part of a science project, part of a training program. I was part of a training grant. And we went and visited the septic facility, the sewage treatment in Shelby County, Tennessee, and that was significant, the science behind it. But I just think that's such a real life application, because these are such clear science procedures. And I'm sure Dr. Bailey, being a chemistry professor, would see that too, probably.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? We have the next two presenters are also spent their time at Central Arkansas Water. So we'll have lots of time to think about what that looks like at Central Arkansas Water. All right. Thank you so much, Carla, for sharing.
You're welcome.